Jane Eyre, published in 1847 under the pen name Currer Bell, is one of the most influential novels in English literature. Written by Charlotte Brontë, the novel is both a romantic love story and a powerful exploration of identity, morality, social class, and female independence. Told in the first person, Jane Eyre follows the life of its heroine from a mistreated orphan into a self-aware, morally grounded woman who insists on dignity, equality, and love on her own terms. Unlike many novels of its time, Jane Eyre presents a female protagonist who demands emotional fulfillment and personal integrity, making the novel both radical and enduring. Jane Eyre's early life is marked by hardship and adversity. Orphaned at a young age, she is raised by her unkind aunt at Gateshead, where she endures neglect and emotional abuse. Later, Jane is sent to Lowood School, an institution known for its harsh conditions and strict discipline. Despite these challenges, Jane develops a strong sense of self, resilience, and moral integrity. These formative experiences lay the foundation for her independent spirit and unwavering determination throughout her life.
The story begins with Jane Eyre as a young orphan living at Gateshead Hall, the home of her cruel aunt, Mrs. Reed. Jane is treated as an unwanted burden by her aunt and her cousins, especially John Reed, who physically and verbally abuses her. Jane's childhood at Gateshead is marked by loneliness, injustice, and emotional neglect. After defending herself against John, Jane is punished by being locked in the terrifying Red Room, a chamber associated with her uncle's death. The experience traumatizes her and symbolizes the repression and cruelty she faces. When Jane falls ill from the ordeal, a visiting apothecary suggests she be sent away to school, offering her a chance to escape Gateshead.
Jane is sent to Lowood Institution, a charity school for orphaned girls run by the hypocritical and cruel Mr. Brocklehurst. Under the guise of religious morality, Brocklehurst enforces harsh discipline, poor living conditions, and public humiliation, particularly targeting Jane as a liar based on Mrs. Reed's false claims. At Lowood, Jane forms two important relationships. The first is with Helen Burns, a gentle and deeply spiritual girl who teaches Jane the values of patience, forgiveness, and inner strength. Helen's quiet endurance contrasts with Jane's passionate sense of justice. Tragically, Helen dies of tuberculosis, leaving a lasting impression on Jane's moral development. The second important figure is Miss Temple, the kind superintendent who offers Jane fairness, education, and emotional support. Under Miss Temple's guidance, Jane thrives academically. After several years, conditions at Lowood improve, and Jane eventually becomes a teacher there. Though stable, Jane longs for a more independent life. Seeking change, Jane advertises for a position as a governess and is hired to teach Adele Varens, the ward of Mr. Edward Rochester, at Thornfield Hall. Thornfield is a mysterious estate filled with strange sounds and unexplained occurrences. Jane finds the environment both unsettling and exciting. Jane soon meets Mr. Rochester, a brooding and enigmatic man burdened by past mistakes. Their relationship develops slowly through sharp conversations, shared intelligence, and mutual respect. Unlike typical romantic heroines of the time, Jane refuses to see herself as inferior to Rochester despite his wealth and status. She insists on emotional and moral equality. Jane also encounters the cold and judgmental Blanche Ingram, whom she believes Rochester intends to marry. Though deeply in love with him, Jane struggles to control her feelings, determined not to lose her self-respect. Life at Thornfield is marked by unsettling events, including a mysterious fire in Rochester's room, strange laughter echoing through the halls, and an unexplained attack on a guest. Jane suspects something dark is hidden within the house. Eventually, Rochester confesses his love for Jane and proposes marriage. Overwhelmed with joy, Jane accepts. However, on their wedding day, the ceremony is interrupted by the shocking revelation that Rochester is already married to Bertha Mason, a mentally ill woman secretly confined in the attic. Rochester explains that Bertha's madness emerged after their marriage and that he was deceived into the union. Though he loves Jane and begs her to stay as his companion, Jane refuses. Despite her love, she knows that becoming his mistress would violate her moral principles. This moment is crucial. Jane chooses integrity and self-respect over passion. Jane flees Thornfield with little money and nearly dies from exhaustion and hunger. She is eventually rescued by the Rivers siblings, St. John, Diana, and Mary, who offer her shelter and kindness. Jane begins a new life teaching at a village school, gaining financial independence and inner peace. Jane later discovers that the Rivers siblings are her cousins, and that she has inherited a large fortune from her uncle. Rather than keeping the money for herself, Jane shares it equally with her newfound family, demonstrating her sense of justice and belonging. St. John Rivers, a devout and ambitious clergyman, proposes that Jane marry him and accompany him as a missionary to India. His proposal is based on duty rather than love. Though Jane respects St. John, she recognizes that marrying him would mean sacrificing her emotional needs and individuality. In a powerful moment, Jane hears what she believes to be Rochester's voice calling her name across the distance. Interpreting this as a spiritual sign, she refuses St. John's proposal and returns to Thornfield. Jane learns that Thornfield has been destroyed by fire set by Bertha Mason, who died in the blaze. Rochester attempted to save her and was left blinded and injured. Now living in isolation at Ferndean, Rochester believes Jane has abandoned him forever. Jane reunites with Rochester and discovers that their positions have changed. She is now financially independent, and he is physically vulnerable. Their relationship is finally equal. Jane accepts Rochester's proposal once more, and they marry, built on mutual respect, love, and moral harmony. Jane Eyre explores female autonomy, moral integrity, class inequality, love versus duty, and the search for identity. Jane's journey is one of self-definition. She refuses to be silenced or controlled by societal expectations. Charlotte Brontë challenges Victorian norms by portraying a woman who values emotional fulfillment and self-respect over wealth or status. The novel's Gothic elements, madness, fire, isolation, mirror Jane's inner struggles and passions. Jane Eyre remains a landmark novel because it speaks to the universal human desire for dignity, belonging, and love without compromise. Jane's voice, honest, passionate, and morally grounded, continues to resonate with readers across generations. Through hardship, temptation, and self-discovery, Jane Eyre proves that true happiness is found not in submission, but in integrity and equality. Thank you for watching. Your support helps this channel grow. Please like the video, subscribe, and comment your favorite book so I know what to summarize next.